Ali Kazmi, the founder of Ethical Equity.
And I'm Dennis Lindsay. I'm a non-executive director of Ethical Equity. Just recently joined, actually.
Ethical Equity is an online investment platform that champions and supports startups and scale-ups that are looking to deliver social, environmental and cultural change. We also have an E-impact criteria where we support underserved entrepreneurs and giving them a chance to pitch to investors as well. So for the last 10 years or so, I've specialized in the UK venture capital schemes, so namely SEIS and EIS. And within that journey, all I saw was inequality, biasness, and some hard-hitting statistics that just didn't sit right with me. For me, then that was, are the founders or the right type of founders getting the capital that they deserve? And that wasn't the case. And if you look at the statistics between 2009 and 2019, ethnic minority entrepreneurs only received 1.7% of the capital. Within the 1.7%, black entrepreneurs received 0.24%. Black female entrepreneurs within that 0.24% received only 0.02%. So they're really dire statistics, and for me that didn't sit right. Rather than waiting for somebody else to do something, I took it upon myself and set up Ethical Equity to challenge that status.
I think for everything that Ali just said, it became self-evident, especially following the pandemic, that the system as it designed was broken. So before the pandemic, there was already a shift from organisations that were pursuing profit over people and planet to organisations that were value-based. So Ethical Equity really wanted to attract the ability to help those value-based organisations like they were Sharia compliant or B Corp compliant, and for them to have an infrastructure by which they can attract impact investors that would want to use their capital to effect positive change on societal change. Then in amongst all of that, as Ali said, there was this necessity because of what was happening with the finance and the capital environment to help those underserved and minoritized entrepreneurs to make sure that they, in that untapped market, at a place that they could come for us to then share in the prosperity with them and for investors for the greater good of society.
Ethical Equity is an online investment platform. By that we mean investees are able to sign up, register their profile, their pitch and the relevant information. Investors then, or angel investors, then browse, look at the opportunities available, and then if they like it, then they put their money into that startup. So it's another investment platform out there, but as we say, solely dedicated to startups that are driving impact. Yeah, so Ethical Islamic Compliant, or widely known as Sharia Compliant, essentially means that the product, it could be anything, that has 3 hallmarks within it if you were to strip back the product. 1, it's non-interest bearing, so money on money is prohibited. Secondly, the types of contract the investee or the company is engaged in must be 2-sided, so they can't be 1-sided contract. And finally, the trade the startup or whatever the product is must be one of that is in the interest of the public. So deforestation, arms dealing, killing people, destroying the world is prohibited within that. So if you meet those 3 criteria, the likelihood is that you will be Sharia compliant or ethically Islamic compliant.
For me, the most exciting thing, without much effort at the moment at all, even though we're planning to put extra effort in, is the amount of great businesses that we're finding already. So businesses that have been around for a while has shown traction, but for whatever reason are unable to raise capital. And because they are impact driven and value based, we can now marry those entities up with impact investors that can create that greater good. So without much effort, we're finding all of these excellent people that have found it difficult. Maybe there's a gender equality issue or an underserved problem that has exhibited those disparities in outcomes for those people, and we're finding them easily, and therefore this is an untapped nascent market for us, and we think that's going to be lots of value in there for us, as well as great B Corp and Sharia finance compliant organisations as well. So we're very excited because we're already just touching the surface of a great opportunity that we think will have great impact societally in the UK and beyond.
What we're proud of so far is the messaging that we're carrying and reaching out to those underserved entrepreneurs that essentially have lost all hope in being able to raise capital or access angel investors because of the gatekeeper issues that we've identified. As simple as when we speak to them and tell them, what we're about, what we're trying to do, they immediately get it, and you can see the smile in their face, and you can see that they light up in hope, and that's the best feeling that we could give to any founder, is to believe in them and to give them some kind of hope so that they can achieve their dreams one day. I think the biggest challenge is making people understand the statistics and the biasness that's out there. I think it's so embedded into the system that people just think that we're making this up and are not simply aware of the problem that it has created. So one thing that I quoted about the 1.7% of ethnic minority only raising 1.7%. When you say that to someone or to an impact investor, they are really taken aback by that information and by that statistic. Everybody seems to think that it's a level playing field, and it's not, and being able to convince people that it's not is quite challenging, and you're going against the norm. In anything you go against the norm, there's going to be a battle of some kind to convince people, and that's not always the case. Especially some of the impact investors that we're working with come on board immediately because they immediately know the problem, they've seen it, and they've been in that industry. But some people are just blinded by the fact that they think the UK is the leading centre for startups, so everything must be all glory, but that's far from it.
We're here, and the pearl of wisdom I'd give to those that have been traditionally underserved is be brave about what you're trying to do, because you started your business with a vision, with a purpose, and you have a problem that you want to be fixed, and therefore you've got to have faith in what you're trying to do and what impact you want to make, and always drive that through everything you do every day, and then come and talk to the likes of Ethical Equity that are now here to serve you and to enable you to be able to reach your full potential.
So they've got a platform that they could call home, essentially, without the additional barriers. We're trying to remove barriers for them and not put up additional barriers. It's hard as it is, so we're trying to make their life slightly easier if we can.
Impact investors that have the same values that we have, and therefore the same beliefs and want to do the same good that we want to do, need to come and join us. But also the investees, whether those are value-based organisations like B Corp or Sharia Finance Compliant, but also those untapped, underserved, minoritized founders that find it very difficult to get access to capital using other traditional mechanisms, need to come and find us too, because I think collectively we can make that impact that we all believe we can make in the UK finance environment.